Okay, so we are going to make our first game using a game maker, and it's basically going to be a clickball game. So the first thing you need to do is go to your toolbar down at the bottom and click on the red with a hammer in it. If this comes up, just say okay. When this comes up, say don't upgrade now. And then the first thing you need to do is go to File and make sure there's a check by Advanced Mode. If there's not, then just click it so that there is Advanced Mode. All right, so the very first thing we're going to do is we're going to create our room. And as you remember, hopefully, from your vocabulary and such, if you go to resources, we can go down here and create a room. So the first thing we're going to do is right here, up here, there are several different things for you to do. You're going to click backgrounds. We're going to click color, and we're going to pick green. Hit OK, and now you have a green room. Now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go here. Do you see each one of these squares? You can set them to whatever size you want. You can turn it on and off, but even if it is on, it will not show up in the game. So if we're going to go up here and we're going to change this to 32 by 32, and you'll see why in a little bit. All right, the next thing we're going to do is go to settings and make sure that two things. It should default to room 0, no spaces, no caps. And then we're going to put in here level 1, and that will show in when you're playing the game, so it shows the user where they're at. And make sure it says 640 by 480. Once you're done with that, click the check mark, which will now show over here you have made a room. All right, so now we need to make some sprites. Sprites are the things that move. Sprites are consistent of sprites and objects, and as you will figure out the difference as we go on. So we're going to go to Resources, Create Sprite, or you can click right here. The naming convention in Game Maker is pretty specific, so please pay attention. It is going to be SPR underscore ball. And it can be upper and lowercase. Okay, so we're going to edit the sprite, and then it comes up here, and we want to edit this image, so we're going to double click on it. So you have your image here, and if you click the magnifying glass with the plus sign, you can make it so that you can see it a little better. And then we're going to go to the circle tool, and we're going to hold the shift key and click and drag a circle. And then we are going to, if you want to change the color, you can change the color, do all of this stuff. But for right now, we're just making this pretty simple. We're going to go to the fill the paint bucket. We're going to click, and we now have a ball. So we're going to go ahead and click the check mark, and then click the check mark, and then click OK. So now it shows you have a ball. We're going to create another one because we have to create a wall for our room so that the balls can bounce off of them. So hopefully you remember the naming. We're going to call it SPR in capitals, underscore, wall. We're going to edit the sprite. We're going to double click. We're going to make it a little bigger. And this is just so that you can see what you are drawing. We're going to take a rectangle and we're going to make a rectangle. And I'm going to fill it with like a gray color. And then we're going to hit the check mark, the check mark, and the check mark. So now you have a room and two sprites. Next, we're going to put in an object. Okay, so an object is where you actually program your sprite or your picture that is actually on the. So if you create an object, we're going to call it OBJ in capitals, underscore ball. We're going to click on the little down arrow and we're going to select our ball. We're going to go over here to event. We actually have to create two. First, we need to make the ball move. So we're going to click, hold, and drag this over here, and we are going to select the four corners. And then for right now, we're going to use the speed of 30 and say OK. And the second event we need to create is a collision so that when it hits the wall, it will bounce in those ways. So I have my collision, and I'm going to go down here to this one here. It's the bounce one. And we're just going to leave everything the same for right now. As we get into GameMaker, we'll learn more about it. So we have that, and then we're going to hit OK. Then we have to create one more, which is very easy, which is the wall. I'm just going to call it OBJ underscore wall. We're going to select our wall. And all we have to do with this one is just make it solid. So now we're going to hit OK. We need to double click on our rim. We're going to go ahead and make it bigger. And now it makes sense why it is 32 by 32 was because when we designed our sprites, that's what we designed them as. So now each sprite will take one square. So the first thing we have here is our wall, and if I click, you can see I can put my wall in. And to put more than one, or to do it quickly, if I hold down the Shift key, I can put it all in. And then if I make a mistake like I did there, if I just right-click on it, I can make it delete. Then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to place a ball. So we create our ball, and we are going to put it here, just anywhere. It doesn't matter where you start it. We are going to save our game. So we're going to go to File, Save As, and I would put it in your OneDrive, or you could put it on your desktop, but know that if something happens, it might be gone. So we're going to call it Click Ball and your last name, because I will get a whole bunch of these and you'll want to get credit. Hit Save. And then we're going to go here to run normally. And when this happens, you might get a error message. Might be down here, or it'll come up like this. Go ahead and say skip this installation, and then your game will load. Stop.